Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Saturday Show. Good morning, and welcome to this. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Carl. Thank you for joining me this morning. I know it is another bumper weekend of Saturday games coming up. We're glad to join this. Thank you for joining us as well. For everyone who wants to comment, you can please join me if you want as well. As I said, you can join me live if you want to be on the site. I'll send you the link onto the stream as well. And also, please like and hit the notification bell for any upcoming content coming up as well too. Fortunately, no Doug today. He is busy as well. But he will be back on next week. We will see him next week as well. So he's got to do. His fat is getting sorted out after the last year. He had a bit. His flat had flooding, so they are trying to repaint. They're repainting, putting the wallpaper back up after the repairs were done last year. So we'll see Doug next week anyway. He'll be back on next week, hopefully. So let's get on with the show today. We've got a lot of stuff we want to talk about, and especially we'll come to that shortly. But let's go on to the fixtures for today's game, and we'll get the team news later on as well. But yeah, here's a fixture. Brighton in the lunchtime kickoff at home to Manchester United. We've got Crystal Palace at home to West Ham United. Leicester City faces Triple H to Craven Cottage to Fulham. Man City at home to Ipswich Town. That's going to be a interesting game. Champions of Premier League against the champion of the runners up of the Championship. Southampton at home to Nottingham Forest. Spurs at home to Everton later on today. And Aston Villa at home to Arsenal. While in the Scottish Premiership today, we get back on. Dundee at home to St Johnstone. Dundee United home to St Johnston, sorry. Dundee faces triple away to Easter Road to Hibs, and Rage at home to Ross County as well. In the Football League Championship, we've got some lunchtime kickoff to early 12:30 kickoffs today. Come to away at Bristol City Hall at home against Millwall. Millwall still not got a points at home since the start of the season. Sorry. Queen's Park Rangers at home to Plymouth Argyle, and in the 3 o'clock kickoffs, Oxford United away at Blackburn Rovers, Middlesbrough at home to Portsmouth, Sheffield United face a triple away to Norwich City, bottom of the table, Preston, go away to Luton Town, go at home to Luton Town, sorry. West Brom at home to going away to Stoke City, Burnley face a triple away, the top two teams in the division. Burnley go away to Sunderland and Watford at home to Derby County. And in League One, we got Burton Albion at home to Stevenage in the 12:30 kickoff, along with Stockport County against Bristol Rovers. Northampton Town faces triple away to Barnsley. Blackpool, after sacking Neil Critchley early this week, they face a triple away to Cambridge United. Charlton at home to Bolton. We got Peterborough going away to Exeter City. Shrewsbury Town away at Huddersfield Town being in good form since the start of the season. Birmingham City face a trip down to East London to Leyton Orient. Lincoln City home to Mansfield Town, another bit of a local derby with that one. Wigan Village home to Crawley Town, and Wrexham also facing the trip at home against Reading, and Wycombe Wanderers at home to Rotherham United. In League Two, Crewe Alexandra at home to Swindon Town. Will also face a trip away to Tranmere Rovers. Brad Barrow at home to Port Vale after Barrow's now defeat in the local derby against Carlisle. Bradford at home to Bromley. Bromley started the season well. Cheltenham Town at home to Wimbledon. Salford City face a trip away to Chesterfield, while Harrogate Town go away to Colchester. Doncaster at home to Morecambe. Gillingham face a long trip up on the west coast to Fleet Road. NK Dons home to Carlisle United, and Newport County at home to Accrington Stanley. Let's go into the English Championship briefly as well. Key games as well. Falkirk at home to Partick Thistle, and Douglas team Livingston at home to Greenock Morton as well. In League Two, we know that two teams in Edinburgh. Edinburgh City faces Tribute to Forfar, and Spartans at home to Peterhead today. And also the English National League as well. Got some teams, two from the Football League teams, Rochdale at home to Forest Green Rovers, Sutton at home to York City, and Barnet home to Barnet at home to Southend United. Let's go to see the European spots as well. Barcelona at home to Athletic Bilbao later on tonight. Real Sociedad at home away to Espanyol. Rather kind of away to Getafe, and Osasuna at home to Mallorca. The German Bundesliga is back. We got all the 2:30 kickoffs, including RB Leipzig against Bochum. Union Berlin faces triple away to Mainz. Hoffenheim at home to Holstein Kiel, the promoted team. Stuttgart faces a triple away to Freiburg, and Augsburg at home to Werder Bremen. And then the half-5 kickoff, which is Borussia Dortmund against Eintracht Frankfurt. Serie A, we got Parma at home to Milan. Lazio facing triple away to Udinese. Inter Milan started their kickoff. The start had a good win last week, and they're home to Lecce. Monza at home to Genoa. And then in League I will tell you more about the league and TV. What's the TV rats? What's going on? Lyon at home to Monaco in the 4 o'clock kickoff. Lille at home to Angers. They're still not playing at their usual ground at the moment due to after the stadium was used for the Summer Olympics. And then Saint Etienne and face Le Havre later on tonight. So, yes, I'm glad with the show. Good morning, Chris. Yeah, good morning, Chris. I am well. Yeah, have a good trip today, mate, and have a good game as well. Safe travels as well. Morning, Doug. Morning, Doug. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I know. Good to see you messaging in. And yeah, it's not surprising Ecuador's lost the games all so far, Chris. Especially they've had a very, very poor. They've had a very, very poor season. Poor start to the season. And yeah, listen. I know you not been playing the best, but you get the win anyway. So as well, and yes, Doug. Hopefully, Doug said you hope you get the win, and Chris says let's pray. And yeah, well, like I said, Doug is on father duties today, unfortunately as well. So as well too, and thank you very much, Chris. Yeah, I appreciate that. Listen, it takes a lot of guts to read those fixtures. It's always been in my plan. I always tend to do it. So yeah, Doug, we'll talk about Bayern Munich, Bayern Leverkusen in a bit because I want to discuss it. I know I'm going to talk more about them in depth on the roundup on Tuesday. But yeah, Bundesliga has predict we expect to drop off. I don't know, companies really good enough for Bayern. And actually, Chris, that's something I wanted to come on to, and I was thinking about that the last week or so. I don't know if most of you guys have seen the documentary Mission to Burnley, where it's on Sky. It's on Sky anyway. But there was a behind the scenes clip that came out last week, and it was very controversial. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it was Visit Company really taking it out on the place. So verbally, a lot of and the owners was there, and yeah, you question the man management with Burnley, with Vincent Company, if you can try to be less than a swearing because of him. If someone's not happy, if someone's not happy, it's a lot to take in, and I think I just don't know is he the right man for Bayern Munich, especially you're going to be dealing with world class players compared to Burnley, to Team Burnley of a championship team who are not world class. They are very professional players, but you're going from boys to men in that circumstances, especially a team like Bayern Munich. He's going to have to adapt to them this season and be a bit more less, verbally sweat, moaning, when something's not right. When because I remember, I think it was him and Johnson had an argument. If you saw the clip last week that was released, and I know the Overlap talked about it, and they were a bit concerned, especially if I think one Keith said this. He said that if that was me, I probably won't get away with it if it was on camera, and he's got a point. So I think Visit Company is going to have to tone down on the language and be a bit more like, right, very much, be more calmer. And Chris, you're right. Company's going to have to start well because the Bayern fans are because Bayern fans are ultras. They're very ultra. If something's not right, either with the team or the club, they are very vocal, those Bayern fans, the Bayern Ultras. They're very vocal. We've seen that, especially when it came to, let's say, sponsorships with, I think, Qatar Airways a few years ago when there was a lot of fun was a revolt against that. They are very ultra, they're very vocal. So companies going to have to be careful with the fans and be engaged with the fans, especially after a trophyless season they had last season. So yeah, it's another huge worry for company, and he's going to have to start off quite well, really well. And I don't know if he's going to be good enough in that manner. To be quite honest with you, but listen. It's another season. It's hard to predict. Like Chris said, it's hard to predict the Bundesliga. We'd expect Bayer Leverkusen to win up, say, unbeaten, and then the drop off with Bayern Munich. It is going to be very interesting with this one. A very interesting season. I'll be watching a lot more games for that coming this season as well. But let's go into the Premier League. I wanted to talk about the hits and misses of this of the week, and I want to start off by talking about Chelsea. I think Chelsea, with the scenario, they try to be attacking against Man City, but Man City came away with a 2-0 win last weekend. I will be honest with you, the situation, what's going on at Chelsea, especially the majority of lows of the overload of the players of nearly 45. I know we know that Raheem Sterling has not been given the shirt number after there were talks of after Enzo Maresca talked to him last Friday, which we found out before the game that it was he was not going to be part of his plans. And then somehow, and this is what I've heard, the statement that came out. That statement was not supposed to be a statement originally, but the sports news team at Daily Mail asked them about the situation, and it was aired out publicly. And we know there's been issues with also Kepa. Kepa's not got a shirt number as well, so Kepa has been literally moved away to surprisingly to Bournemouth on a season long loan. So there's and Raheem Sterling, we know his future might be away from the Stamford Bridge. That's going to happen. We don't know if he will go to, and there's been talks with Juventus, but I don't see that happening. I think they're looking at more at Jadon Sancho. I think there has been rumours that he's been linked with Crystal Palace on loan, which is very surprising as well. And I think there is going to be a huge doubtful. The performance against Servette on Thursday was the best. There was a lot of boos. There was boos at halftime, especially with Chelsea at 0-0. And I think to myself, why has this situation got so worse? And I said this to Doug with Doug on his Totally Premier League podcast the other day. I said to him that Chelsea need to stop buying players. Why do you need a lot of players for position? The problem is the two issues you're gonna have is the team cohesion and also the partnerships between players if they're gonna be playing regularly. You're gonna have to please the players if you're gonna be in the first 4-6 games. I just have doubts with that one where how this is going to pan out. I really do, and I just don't know where it's going to end. But it's a huge mess, especially if you sign João Felix and you let a local player like Conor Gallagher, who was your captain last season, go to Atletico Madrid, and you brought João Felix back, who had a disastrous loan spell 18 months ago. And so, what was his first game? Was against Fulham, played well, and then somehow he gets sent off as well in the game as well. So that's my misses for Chelsea. They got huge problems to deal with, and I will go to the message. Chris Wilson said Chelsea a mess. It matters to keep on signing players, hope their progress. Since Bowley came in, they needed a goalkeeper and a striker, but wasted over positions. Yeah, I can fully agree with that one as well. He's also said Maresca will be sacked before Santa gets stretched to do his job. Yeah, it is can he actually the way he's been vocal as well, especially coming on to Mudryk as well, because he was vocal about Mudryk yesterday in his press conference as well about Mudryk's a rejected steps man, but That's funny, Chris. I kind of like that actually. A beat it, reject Chris. Listen for all you guys who are listening. Hope you have a very good results for your even a few weeks ago with your GCSEs as well as your A levels and also your B Tech results. So please, I'll commend you all for that as well. If you all got good results, if you didn't have good results, it's not the end of the world. There's still other options there for you to do. Not just university is life as well. There's like these apprenticeship and even employment if you want, or even looking at self-employment if you want to start your own business and stuff. So it's not the end of the world, guys. If you didn't get any good results with any of your results the last few weeks on results day, so appreciate that. And also, Jao failure more like, yeah, I think CT went to Atletico Madrid. I think his quality went down quite much, and you do worry about that. Can he redeem himself, especially at 24 years old? When you're being alone, not just to Chelsea but to Barcelona. So that's another lot to discuss about as well. We'll discuss that later on as well. To be quite honest with you, but being honest with you, I think it is a Chelsea's got a lot to deal with coming towards the end of the transfer window, which we will talk about more in a bit shortly as well. Let's go. What's the hits of the week? I think Arne Slot looked in the debut against Liverpool looked fantastic to get that win over Ipswich. Taking off Kwanzaa for Konate was the difference. He tweaked it to make sure TAA went up into inverted midfield, which worked better. And actually, to get that win was very vital for them. And I think, looking at that where they are, Liverpool, yes, they're not signing any players. They've let Step van der Berg go to. He's going to Brentford, excuse me, and for 20 plus million pounds plus 5 million add-ons as well. Bobby Clark has gone to RB Salzburg for 10 million pounds, but they will get a good selling clause as well. So yeah, Liverpool have made some good business outgoings, but they need players coming in goings, and I know would it still look to be for number 6? We don't know, but we know that they are looking at the goalkeeper from Valencia, who is going to be will be staying on low for another season if the for low season Valencia who come in next season. I think like I said, he's going to be the long term replacement for Allison completely as well. And yeah, Chris, yeah, I like what you said about Arne Slot. Your second team, brutal, ruthless. That's what any manager would want, and he needs to be the way he's talked in the press conference. I like what he talks about completely. I really do. So I think you've got a very good manager there anyway. And like you said, they were there. Use yourself in the second half was breathtaking as well. I like what you said about Chelsea. Chelsea could be still for a long time to learn mistakes which they do. Can I ask you something, Chris? I don't know if you heard what Simon Jordan said on Talksport. Was it a bit unfair to compare Arsenal's situation a few years ago when Arsenal was more about trying to get rid of the players that was not good enough for the club compared to what Chelsea's going through with the buying too many players compared to Arsenal was transfer business was wrong. I want your opinion on that one because if that's because look at where Arsenal is now. At least Arsenal are challenging for the title race, but remember their situation a few years ago. So that will be interesting to say as well. But but going back to Liverpool, yeah, Liverpool was just ruthless in the second half, and Slot could see that there is going to be a very good manager there, and I think it was the right pick to take anyway. I know you will look to certain other managers, but I think he's probably the right manager for the club, after club as well to take them forward. All right, let's go to my another miss of the week. I will have to say it's a tough one actually because I've had to think about it carefully. I probably have to say Spurs, but hot top Spurs not being clinical to finish the game at Leicester on Monday night. I think that's something I wanted to talk about. Listen, good goal from Pedro Porro. It was good to see that as well. But they had so many chances to convert, and somehow a 37-year-old Jamie Vardy came to score to equalise for Leicester as well. But it's a shame that we'll talk about the team news a bit, but there's not going to be there's no Dominic Solanke in today's game against Everton. He's injured as well. He's injured at the moment, but we don't know when he's going to be back. So with Chelsea will come in, but Spurs had so much chances to waste, and they and they look very clinical. But I think to keep the being still 1-0, I think Leicester kept very well to be in the game at when they 1-0 down. And I was speaking to Chris from Leicester Till I Die last weekend about it, of how Leicester's season was going to be dependent on how Steve Cooper is in. I have put them down as my relegation favourites for a reason, but if they can get another striker in, because Vardy is going to be really going to be the it's going to be the it's going to be an issue, especially with his, him and Tom Cameron, all recognised strikers. I think Patson Daka is still out, but they need another recognised striker after, any actual left this summer as well. So I think there's a lot that needs to be done for them within the next 7 days, within the next between next the last week of the transfer window coming up. But I think, yeah, Ange Postecoglou is going to have to deal with a lot, and Chris hits the nail spot. The most bad is it's their Paul Ogre and not fullbacks. They are wing backs. They play plays with back three with wing backs. Yeah, I would 100% agree, Chris. You fit the nail on the head. They're more, they're more better. They are wing backs, not fullbacks. I think they're more better played playing Swiss can play with a back three, and I think that would be more better defensively for them. And you're right. That's a good point. I think I think Ange will realize that. I think it's going to be the issue of, like I said, because the reason why they went to the back four, and I don't know why, and I think it was due to what happened with, I don't know if it had to do with Yves Basuma with this situation, with him being the fall guy after he got in trouble as well, and like you said, it was not a good point for Spurs. They should have buried in the first half against a poor Leicester team. Yeah, I 100% agree, 100% agree with it completely, and they should have really, really done quite well to get that point. So you know what, it is going to be interesting with that one of how Spurs can capitalize against a poor side, lost 3-0. And actually, we are going to go to the hits, another hit of the week. I have to say, Brighton look. Brighton clinical under the new manager of Fabian Hersler. I have to say, what a win at Goodison Park for Brighton. I think when I was speaking to Doug the other day, I think Welbeck, Matena, and Adinga are going to be a good front three for Brighton this season. I think they look tremendous. I think they get Matt O'Reilly from Celtic. That deal has been agreed. He should be hopefully signing in the next few couple of days. But Brighton spent a lot of money this transfer window, along with Fulham. They spent over £200 million. I like how Brighton's business are going to be. To be quite honest with you, I just have to say, very much how things are going at the moment. I think the way the runners look at the money from after the money from the Moses Caicedo deal last summer, and like McAllister as well. I think they are going in places as well completely. So yeah, it's not a surprise with what they've done with their business. So you know what, fair play to that. I think they've got a good season coming up this season as well. Yeah, we'll talk about the hits of the misses of the week. I think Everton still look lackluster. I think they're gonna need some key signs, especially with the takeover situation. The club might have a bit of money until November, but you have to worry about with the ownership as well. I think Sean Dyche has got a huge job this season to try to start off quite well in the last season at Goodison Park. That ground is going to have to be a huge factor for the Everton fans, because they're going to need to pull together to get through the season before they move to the new stadium next summer as well. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Chris, you're right. Yep. Always said Brighton will be top 10 in a row. We're going to do everything right to replace players and managers well. And you're right, they do replace players and managers very, very well indeed. And it's not a surprise as well. I said they've always been a good, well-run club. I think I'll say this in the Leafs, how we've been trying to emulate that, but we've never been best at that. But Brighton have always done that on the spot of really good. And like I said, when they've since they've been in the Premier League since 2017, they have been so much good as well. And also Dyche can only do so much at Everton. He's not the issue for me. It's all things that are the issue. Yeah, mainly behind the scenes. Chris, you're spotting with that one as well. And I've got some team news. Doug's got some team news. Brighton and Manchester United are unchanged, so that has been confirmed as well. We will just get the team news to tell you who's in the squad. This is the unchanged side. So, as we're just going to announce as well, coming up, just give it a suspense as well. So it looks like we are going to be Billy Gilmore starts for Brighton as well. He's been linked to a move away from them as well, but we know that Man United 11 on change as well. So yeah, not much. I think both teams start off as well. We know that we should get the team announcement shortly, but we know that Jorginho Rutter did sign for Brighton from Leeds. He's gonna be a good player that's gonna be missed at the club as well. So yeah, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting as well. Yes. Good morning. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, but big ups. Thank you. Yes, big ups. Cheers for that. You too, mate. So Bruno's still up front. Yeah. That's why I would have thought. Yeah, I would have thought Zertsky would have started today, Chris. I really did. But yeah, he's still up front. I think Ganacho and Zertsky should start. I 100% agree as well. To be quite honest with you, I really do. I'm a bit surprised as well. Mount is, what Mount is, to be honest. It's a question if he's going to be playing in that midfield three if they get Ugarte from PSG. I know Casemiro has been very, the only defensive midfielder, but there is going to be a lot. If Man United can get the signings in, the last signing in, especially what happens with Sancho, then I think we'll debate about what will be the struggle for. I think Hoyland will be back once he's back from his injury. But yeah, I do agree. What Chris said. With that, surely Garnacho and Zerkis should start, and they were a lot more better. I think they made a little bit of a difference. Them two when it came on the weekend as well. So yeah, Doug said morning to SB28, and SB28 replied back to him as well. Yep, nope, I'll let you guys chat away as usual. But yeah, once we get the starting 11, we'll know who is in the squad as well. Yeah, I'm done with my hits and misses of the week. Actually, I'm gonna finish off with that, and that is what we're going to do. What I am going to do is talk about the team news in the Premier League games today. We'll start off with Crystal Palace and West Ham United. No, Crystal Palace will be without Joachim Anderson, who's now joined Fulham, but in Fulham as well. Jordan Ayew is also moving away to Leicester, to other clubs. Willie Hughes is a doubt with an illness, where Matheus Franca remains sidelined with a rib injury. West Ham's only doubts is Edison Alvarez, who's not played since his injuries hamstring at the Copa America, will be assessed. Chris said Bruno should be 10. Messi doesn't get in the strongest level in his opinion. Let's see. Aaron Bissaka and Luis Grimaldo will make their club debuts, while Young Chair, Claire, Tuberdo, and Somerville and Phil Creek might make their first start for the Hammers as well. SB28 also is saying that Palace might struggle this season. I don't think they will struggle as much. I'm going to disagree with that. I think, despite if Matt Guay does get sold to Newcastle by the next few couple of days after this game, I think Palace will be very active of the players that they will need to get. I think that they will be very active, and they always find good replacements. So I wouldn't worry about Palace. It's going to struggle this season. I don't see them as my relegation first. Not, I don't know about the top 10. Maybe need to the top 10 is probably debatable because there's good routines, but I think they'll be not. I think they'll be all right. To quite honest with you, I don't have doubts about it as well. Looking at the match facts head to head, Crystal Palace looking for a third consecutive home league win over West Ham. We know that the last 4 game meetings has produced a total of 24 goals at an average of 6 per game. Both teams have scored at least twice of each of the 4 matches, and both teams scored in the past 14 Premier League meetings as well. Yeah, those people who say Palace will be surprised, their predictions a bit. I always say Palace will get 5 points and then get the towels. They're ambitious enough to truck. I think here's the thing, Chris. I think with John Textor, he's trying to sell his stake to move to try to buy Everton. I think he's been very. I know the clubs that he's run have been not very successful. What happened to Leo last season? I have doubts with that one. I don't think. I think the ambition. I think if they do get ambitious, I think they'll be all right. Um, yeah, I can see understand why Glasgow have gone. I won't be shocked. This is his first full season, so I think give him due time. I think he will. The football that he plays will be better for the Palace fans. I just think he was the only suitable replacement when Roy Hodgson was very ill and he was not getting the best results of fall. But I don't see him being gone this year. I think Palace will also have stability anyway. So yeah, Doug, Man United the fans are fuming that Mount starts and Maguire starts. Yeah, uh, not surprised as well. Not surprised as well. So yeah, we know that Rutter is going to be on the bench today, so that has been confirmed as well. If Garnacho keeps getting benched, Doug says I can see him putting in the transfer because yeah, if he's been on the bench and especially the quality he's had a good season last season as well, but and also a good summer with the Copa America as well. Why are you putting him on the bench when he should be your starter? I don't know. Maguire played well to be honest against Fulham. Chris said, but I understand the rage at Mount. Yeah, can understand that as well. Right, let's go into the Leicester going away to Fulham. Sandra Burge may well to start next week after he missed. He's not ready to start, but there's no new injury concerns for Fulham, which is good for Michael Silva. Steve Cooper said that Oliver Skip is available to face Fulham. Foxes remain without Patson Daka, Connor Cody, and Jakob Stolzer, who are all injured. Fulham won both of the last meetings when the sides met in 2002 2003 season, 2022 23 season. Leicester lost 5-3 in the most recent visit to Craven Cottage, with the game producing more than one goal with the 6 previous away get games against Fulham combined. Yeah, um, Fulham have had a good transfer window as well. They signed Joachim Anderson, who was at the club a few years ago. He's back there permanently as well. And Morning, Don Hussein. Yes, yes, good to see you. We did do the preview a few years ago. I totally forgot about that. You've been it's been a long time we heard from you, man. I've just set my camera up, so just give me a second. Yeah, it's been a long time we just heard from you, man, and it's good to see you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm back on my project properly for the first time, man. So I'm getting back to after I had a bit of a tough few months as well. But I appreciate that, brother. SB that West Ham of a palette, in his opinion. Yeah, we'll see, especially with the signings they've made as well. It's going to be interesting if they could get to the top, into the European spots under Julian Lopetegui. Right, another team we'll look at is the kickoff at the Etihad. Man City at home to Ipswich Town. With team news with that one, that Pep Guardiola said they're waiting for international clearance if Ikra Gunran can be involved against the match. He said Rodri is getting better, but he's not likely to play it again. He's going to miss his second consecutive game of the start of the season. Salvino's been struggling with a knee issue. He might be a late decision with that one. Wes Burns, George Hurst, and Harry Clark were all injured. Calvin First is eligible to face his parent club. Kiripke will give Denny to Jens Castus, and he's expected to make a late call on goalkeeper Ariet Munitz, who missed the last week's match with a calf injury as well. This is the first meeting between these sides since January 2002 when City was in the second tier at the time in the Championship. They beat Ipswich 4-1 at Premier League in the FA Cup. This will be the first Premier League count since 2000-2001 campaign. Both were newly promoted. Ipswich won both games that season with a 2-0 home win, confirming City's relegation. Ipswich are playing at the Etihad Stadium for the first time when they won the last 2 visits to Main Road. That's been a long time with that one. Really is. But look at Man City's record. They've won the 17 out of the last 18 Premier League games against promoted side, drawing it over since a 2-1 home loss to Leeds United in April 2021. They're unbeaten in 24 league games since they won the defeat Aston Villa in December 2023. So this is their second longest unbeaten league streak after a run of 30 from April 2017 to January 2018. That's a huge streak as well. Yeah, we'll know. We'll get team news will be later on, but we don't know. Carver Face will not play against his eligible. He's ineligible for his parent club. Southampton home to Nottingham Forest. The Saints have no new injury woes ahead of the first home match of the season. Carly Someni is close to return after ankle injury. Juan Loris is still building up his fitness after a long-term hamstring problem. Still no return for Garrett Banzu, who's still out until New Year with his Achilles injury. Danilo will have surgery on his broken ankle next week for Forest. Ola Anya Ante Alanga will be assessed with their minor injuries that came off last weekend. Nicola Mectri is available after serving the suspension that occurred at his previous club, Fiorentina. Yeah, SSB said the Grundy situation is crazy. I'm sure Pep took Grundy back, and do you know what? I tell you why, and you might will see. I think when Grundy's in that squad, he's that huge difference because he can play false nine as well as because remember that season when they went to Liverpool a few seasons ago during the COVID season, and Grundy was playing up front false nine, and that was the difference he made. I think it made this transfer made a lot more sense going back because especially with Rodri with his, still out as well, and especially what's, with Julian Alvarez going, I think this transfer made a lot more sense to bring him back because because of he thought that at Barcelona with the situation because Barcelona can't register the players. It wasn't surprising going back to City because he said in his interview on City TV that he appreciated everything that he had at City after he left for Barcelona for a year to see how things were. I think this transfer makes a lot more sense. I think it's not about money for him for Gundogan or the MLS. I think it was right for him to go back, and he's still at a good age where he can still play in for a top Premier League team. He's still at a good age, and I think going back to see it's probably been worth it. My own opinion with that one as well. So but I think like I said, I think that partnership, because of what happened with De Bruyne injury last season, City could dealt with it well, but I think now they needed to get some extra weapons, the extra defensive midfielder weapons back in that midfield three. Uh, let's go to Spurs against Everton. The team news: no Dominic Solante and Rodrigo Bentancur have been ruled out of Saturday's game. Yes, thank you, Doug. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new. Please, we are trying to grow this channel. I'm doing a lot more content growing as well. So, as I will say to you, as ahead of tomorrow night, I am back tomorrow night to do the championship review from match day 3. We'll talk about Leeds and Leeds and all the other teams in a bit. But Leeds' win at Sheffield Wednesday last night in a bit. But just going over the team news, Solanga did sustain a season an ankle injury against Leicester. Bentancur most fall could constitute protocol when he was stretched off following the collision. Pedro Porro, Yves Bissouma, and Wilson Obde are all available. Everton will assess James Tarkowski, who's nursing the hamstring strain. Asher Young will serve a one-match ban for his red card, while James Gardner, Seamus Coleman, Yusuf Cementi, Nathan Patterson, and Jared Bradford are all out injured. Yeah, Everton have all got 14 recognised players that can choose today in today's game. So it's a huge start for Sean Dyche as well. In the 5:30 kickoff, Una Emery has an unchanged squad for the visit at Arsenal later today. Onana will start against after was only will start. Onana will be included as well. Ian Matson and Constant Neverage made a club debuts as late substitutes. Arsenal don't have any fresh injuries concerns either. Joran Timber is carefully coming back to manage his long-term injury, and Ricardo Calafi was using on open weekend as well. So that's for the Saturday games, and we'll go to tomorrow's games as well with the team news as well. Bournemouth have got no fresh injury concerns. We do expect the new side, the club record signing Evaluation in contention to make his debut. Michael Sensei missed a trip last week to Nottingham Forest through illness. He should be available. Newcastle will be without the suspended defenders Fabian Schär as a result of his red card against Southampton last week. Jamal Lacazette is suspended Botman and Lewis Mallet are the long-term expertise. Tonali will be serving his final league match of his 10-month ban. He should be back after next week after his 10-month ban due to gambling as well. Head to head, both have only won in the last 9 games against Newcastle. They've drawn 5 and lost 3. But the Cherries did take 4 points out of Newcastle last season, winning 2-0 last season and drawing 2-2 against Newcastle at St. James's Park February. Newcastle have not kept a clean sheet of any of the last 11 top flight meetings. Another 2 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. Chelsea faces trip away to Wolves. We know there's no fitness new issues ahead for Gary O'Neill. Nelson Semedo will miss out through suspension. Sasa Kalach and Enzo Gonzalez and Leon Chorome are the long-term absentees. And also, John Felix is available to play, but he's decided, Emma's will get to decide if he's featured from the start. Reece James is suspended his third game of his 4-match suspension after being sent off the end of last season. And then finally, on this game, the Sunday, Super Sunday kickoff, we've seen that Jarrell Kwanzaa is a doubt after picking up an injury in training earlier this week. Joe Gomez is new return after his minutes being managed after he was part of the England squad. Thomas Frank hopes that Ivan Toney will be available after missing the first game of the season. Last week, I made transfer rumours. Igor Thiago is remain sidelined, and along with Josh De Silva, Aaron Hickey, and Rico Henry. The match facts with that one: Lupo have won their 5 home games against Brentford without conceding, got a run that stretches back to 1939. Brentford have won one of their 6 Premier League meetings, drawn 1, lost 4. The Bees have only won one of the last 12 away games against Liverpool, beating them in 1937 through a hat trick of Bobby Reed in the top flight. Yeah, I think this is the game of the week. Actually, that's Aston Villa is definitely the game of the week with that one. I agree as well. I 100% agree with that. It is interesting how you're intrigued how much Villa looks strong. This matchup, yeah, it's going to be interesting because Villa looked strong against West Ham last week. I totally agree with that. I was very happy how they played last week. Villa, I think Juan Duran, I think he's not going to go now anyway. Towards the end of to West Ham because he was linked with the club during the summer as well. So I'm going through the teams with that one. Ooh, Doug's got a question for all of us. Is Jadon Sancho a flop? At the time when he was at Dortmund, not this loan, but when he was there before he went to United, he wasn't a flop. But since going to United, I think he's been misused the way that the managers want to play, how they want to play. Is he a flop? It's debatable amongst people, but you have to look at the circumstances after what the way he came out last season in that deleted tweet post. He criticizing the manager. We all thought they put Rubens to bed with that one. But to be quite honest with you, I think it's not sure what he's going to do with that one. I do worry about that, But going to Juventus, I think Juventus will have to sell players first. I know for Cheres, there's a few players that Thiago Bottle needs to do first to get Sancho, so they're gonna have to sell first before they can either get him back on loan or buy him permanently. We will see that one. He's not sure where Ateta is going as well. He's basically playing 5 centre backs out there. He has no real number 9. Well, listen, what I think what Arsenal have been very careful of. Yes, they do need a number 9. I think a Sesko or even a Victor Usman could make that difference for Arsenal to win that title. I really do. But here's the thing. I think he's doing what Pep did the first few seasons, playing a false 9. It's worked in some ways, but you do worry about that a little bit if you can try to, if it can be good, keep going long term wise. I think this is my opinion with this one. I think looking at where Arsenal's situation is, they lost twice to Villa last season with Villa not conceding a goal to them last season. So I think it's a bit of a worry, like you said. You're right, and Douglas has said hit the nail on the head that Gabby Jesus misses out again to Arsenal due to a growing injury, and also towards the end, I think like what he said that cost Arsenal the title. The title last season was losing to Villa twice last season. That what cost them the title race completely. So it's not a surprise where how things are with that one as well. But we are going to move on for that. I will talk about my predictions shortly. Let's go to some transfer gossip news, and we'll talk about the transfer window as well. We know that Juventus are in talks with Manchester United for Jadon Sancho, although they're willing to meet Man U's 40 million valuation, expect to be difficult. That's reported on the Athletic. Sancho could move to Italy on a loan deal with United being open to him without option buy despite a permanent sale is their preference. Reporting I. Napoli is still in talks with Scott McTominay over the signing of him as well. Newcastle have agreed a deal with ATO midfielder Sekou Kone, who impressed last year at the under-70s World Cup in Mali. Based on performances, according to Fabrizio Romano. We have told the Independent actually look like they're set to give on their pursuit on Nico Williams, who, despite space, being a top target for the Gunners this summer. Southampton are considering an approach for an Arsenal goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale, after Arsenal rejected a loan proposal for the 26-year-old. That's reported today in Mail. Looks like Porto have agreed a deal in a report in the Mail that Porto have agreed a deal with Arsenal to bring back midfielder Fabio Vieira on loan. He's still on the contract with the Gunners until 2027. A Turkish media have reported that Brighton have agreed a £30 million transfer fee for Turkey winger for Fenerbahce Turkey winger Fedrik Kanalgu. Fenerbahce have confirmed that he's traveled to undergo a medical. In the opposite observer, that former West Ham and Italy defender Angela Ogbonna is now set to move into the Championship Watford while before the transfer window closes. Bologna have agreed a deal with Aston Villa to sign a 20-year-old English midfielder Samuel England Jr., who joined from Juventus in the summer, will go back as well. Bayer Leverkusen, Liverpool close to monitoring Bayer Leverkusen Ecuador midfield Pero Hincapié from the Football Insider. Liverpool also considering move for Atlanta and Netherlands midfielder Ten Koopmeiners after Liverpool missed out on Spanish midfielder Martin Zubimendi. And Esco Estepan is flying to Mexico to join FC Juarez and will miss Saturday's game against Millwall later today. So that is all the transfer news done with that. Let's go to the predictions, and I know I will talk about predictions, and we'll start off with today's game, Brighton at home to Manchester United. I've gone for Brighton 3-1 against Man United. I know Douglas is going for a draw. Well, I've known a Man United win for this one, actually. I'm not going to lie. That's what he did say when we spoke the other day. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, that result, what we'll see later on today with that one. And I've got Doug's prediction as well, actually. So, he's gone for Man United 2-1, actually. Chris Welch, you've gone for Man United, Brighton to win as well, 2-1 as well. Yeah, I agree for Brighton win as well. Uh, let's go to Crystal Palace West Ham. Yeah, I've gone for a 2-2 draw with these two teams. Douglas has gone for a 1-1 draw with this one, and can see both teams cancel each other out, especially their start of the season with defeats last weekend. Leicester, I've Fulham Leicester. I've gone for 3-1. I've gone for 3-0 for Fulham. Douglas has gone for 3-1 Leicester City as well, actually. So, yeah. No, I've gone for 2-0 Leicester Fulham, and Douglas has gone for 3-1 Fulham as well. Both for Ipswich, we've both gone with Man City wins as well. Doug has gone with, let's just check again. He has gone with a 2-0 win for Man City. I've gone with 4-0 Man City as well. For both of us, we went the opposite directions with Southampton and Nottingham Forest. I've gone for a 1-0 win for Nottingham Forest, and Doug's gone for 1-0 win for Southampton. Very interested with that one as well. Very interested as well. Let's go through other results. Chris says 2-1 to Man United. He's also saying 2-1 to West Ham to win. He's gone for a score draw at Craven Country for both teams for Fulham Leicester. SSB's gone for both a draw for Brighton Man United. Chris has gone for 3-0 for Man City as well, and Chris has gone for 1-1 draw between Southampton and Norfolk. Morning, Anthony. Yeah. Mr. Horne is actually on father duties today, so because it was on, listen, everything was last minute, so he's at father duties because he's flat. Well, his and his wife are getting decorated today, so he's a bit busy today. So we'll see him back next week. You've gone for one more draw between Brighton and Manchester United. Yep, fair enough as well. Right. Me and Doug did go for Spurs to win. He went for a 2-0 win. I went for a 3-0 for Spurs as well. And this is an interesting one between us and Arsenal. We both gone in different directions again. He's gone for a 2-1 win for Villa. I've gone for a 3-2 win for Arsenal. I think Arsenal will somehow get that points to win this in most important game if they want to be to start their title race campaign. I really do. Chris has gone for she's gone for 3-1 for the Spurs. Anthony's gone for the same draw as us between West Ham and Palace, 2-2 draw. Chris has gone for 2-1 to Aston Villa as well. Bournemouth, Newcastle. We're both going the same way for Newcastle. Doug has gone for 3-1 to Newcastle as well. Anthony, you've gone for 2-1 for Leicester to win against Fulham today. I've gone for at least 2-1 to Newcastle as well. I've gone for a score draw between Wolves and Chelsea, 1-1. Doug has gone for, I think he went for Wolves win actually for 2-1 as well. Two, yeah. Yes, SB at the Billard Park later on tonight in the 5:30 kickoff as well. Anthony, you've gone with 5-0 win for Man City for against Ipswich. Might win this low key, you think as well. SSB, Wolves 1-1 Chelsea. Yeah, Chris has gone the same way as myself. Anthony's gone for Forest to win 2-1 at Southampton later today as well. In the over 4 o'clock kickoff as well, half 4 kickoff for Liverpool Brentford. I've gone for Douglas to go for 2-0 for Liverpool to win against Brentford. I have gone for 3-1 for Liverpool to Liverpool as well. So that is all the predictions for the Premier League this weekend. Yeah, no, I will see your comments as well. Chris Welch has gone for 3-1, same score line as myself as well. And Turbo has gone for 2-1 to to Newcastle as well. And he's also gone for Chelsea to win 2-0 against Wolves tomorrow as well. So, yeah, interesting predictions you guys have chosen. I really appreciate that one, because we don't know what's going to happen. These is critical games, especially in the second week of the season, start of the season for the Premier League as well. Right, actually, before we finish off, I did want to, because I am going to do the championship review tomorrow, but I'm going to give you, as I said, before Anthony does, he's going for 2-1 for Liverpool to win as well, and Arsenal to draw 2-2. And Chris Welsh said Liverpool thrive from under the radar in his opinion. I'm going to talk about what last night. I did watch the game between Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds. Leeds looked better, counter pressing, winning 2-0. Goals from Brendan Harrison and Dan James were provided to get Leeds' first win of the season. I think after everything what's been happening this summer, it was a lot of questioning. Can we start off after the poor start we had with conceding, 6 goals, until last weekend with a bit of a ball draw at West Brom. Finally getting the win last night was very vital, really was as well. And the good news with Leeds, they have made a signing, which was huge because there was questions about what was going to happen because of, if we sold Archie Gray, Rutter unexpectedly last week, and Summer Reville as well. Leeds have made a signing, and I will get that up just to get the suspense. But they are in the likely the closest signing Manuel Solomon from Spurs on a season-long loan. That deal's going to be done by hopefully by today or tomorrow. But Leeds did make a signing, yesterday on Thursday. We did sign for Man United young youth player Lange Ramazzi on the underclause free from Almeria in the La Liga side. He came through the Man United's campaign. He signed a 4-year deal at the club. He played once in Man United's Red Devils' first team in the league defeat in the Europa League to Astana under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's manager. The 23-year-old has made 128 appearances for all competitions for Armenia, scoring 22 goals across 4 seasons as well. He played 8 times for Belgium under 20, scoring 3 goals. And he was at the game last night. He should make his debut next weekend against Hull. We'll be excited to see that as well. Anthony Herbert said, "The whole team, Bristol City, got Coventry City at 12:30. I hope we can get the 3 points." Listen, both Bristol City and Coventry, both your teams had a good start, winning 4-3 against Millwall last weekend, and Scott Twy coming back as well. That's a huge sign for you guys, for Bristol City. Anthony, I appreciate that. I think Coventry City kind of go again after everything the start as well. It is going to be really interesting how both you see. I think Bristol can challenge for the players if they can get the players. If they get the players in. I really do because I was a bit disappointed with them last season. I know Lee Mine came in, and I think with Nigel Pearson not spending as much, I think you guys have a good, decent chance this season for the playoff if you can get to the latter playoff stages if you can this season. But yeah, Leeds are going to make some signings before the end of the transfer window. We've got one winger in. We should get another winger in by this weekend. And then I think Leeds will need to sign a midfielder and a full, probably a striker and probably a left back as well. I think that's the last few things we need to do. But I think Leeds are going in the right direction. At least I was very critical of Leeds' last few streamings. And you know why? Because of if as a fan of a club, you know that the badge in the shirt is heavy. But when it's heavy at Leeds United, it's put a huge expectation with the fans. I think that's what realize why there's been a lot of frustration behind the scenes with the board as well, especially with Mister with the CEO saying that he could do the dictate the he can sleep he can do transfer negotiation and sleep, which is a bit of a weird thing to say with that one, but as it is, But other than that, he should have said that in the first place. And yeah, and Chris, you hit it now. It's now time for him to back it up now. And listen, we talked about what's going on with Brendan Harrison. I know he's had a mix. He's had a mixed relationship with us. But to him scoring that goal, I know to get to after the miss that he had the chance against Portsmouth in the opening game, it wasn't. He thought a lot of people questioned him completely, and it was unfair. It was really unfair for them to criticize him. So you know, I think it's time to back it up now completely. If we get the signings in, I think if we get the squad depth back in, I think we still have a good chance. Because we're not too far behind Burnley or Sunderland. So I think everything just needs to be calmed down a bit. So I do agree with that one as well. Anti Herbert question: how will Summerall do for West Ham? That's a good question. I think it's what he wanted. I think deep down, listen, I think him getting a move to West Ham has helped him get into the Dutch national team just recently in the provincial squad. I think that's what he's wanted for years, and it's not his fault about his contract situation. I think the board, well, the previous and the current board should have, with the release clause that he had, they should have known that this was going to happen, and like I said, he was always going to let go, especially with his quality. He scored over 20 goals last season in the Championship. We relied on him so much. And I think that's what Daniel Farke is trying not to do, is rely on players so much, individual players so much, because look what happened with him. He was at Norwich, where Bendia went to Aston Villa. Look how that turned out, and he struggled with that one as well. He really did. Chris, you still finished in third. I think you should know our playoff record is not the best. In 6 attempts, we've not been promoted. We've never been promoted. We've lost all 6 games. I think for us this season, it's the top two, and we've been seeing the top two. I don't care if we're champions. I think Burnley got a better squad than us at the moment, at this current time. But after the 10 games, after we play 10 games, we will see where we are. If we're in the top two by then, I think we'll steamroll away. But that's your opinion as well. It's too early to judge, like you said, where it's going to be. And West Ham will need to gel in the players to get them. Yeah, them players. They will do, and it will take time to get the players well gelled in that squad. And I 100% agree with that one as well to completely. So no, I get that as well because it's going to be a long time to get the players gelled in completely as well. Um, phew. One other thing as well, I was going to say. Yeah, I don't think there's anything much to say on that one. I think covered pretty much everything today, and especially done it that within in an hour as well. So no, I listen. Thank you guys for messaging in, chiming in. Chris, have a good game away down at MK at Milton Keynes today. I hope you get the 3 points today, especially against an MK Don side. Have been really been bad to start the season. And today, hope you have a good game today at Ashton Gate. We hope with Bristol City will get the win as well. And for everyone else who's messaging, thank you for joining us as well. We will be back tomorrow night to do the championship review. It should be myself, Michael Bowers, and a few of the other championship fans joining me around 8 o'clock. Then I'm back on Wednesday to do the round up of the Premier League and Leagues 1 and 2 and all the European leagues as well too. Actually, before we do finish that, about League Earn as well. We know about the TV rights. I wouldn't, guys, don't spend £10 a month for League on TV Pass because it's pointless, especially if you know that. No disrespect, it's a Farmers League Earn. They've lost so much good players as well. And to be honest with you, why would you want to spend £10 a month on the Farmers League when it used to be on TET? I don't know. So don't spend £10 a month on the League Pass on the League Earn Pass for I think it's ripping fans off completely. It's probably £3 more expensive to watch La Liga, and even you get good quality of La Liga games as well. Yeah, absolutely, Chris. I'm not going to. I'm not going to endorse it, but you've just said it on there. You said it on there. I'm just gonna leave it as that because I don't want to endorse it. That is not. I'm not going to get myself busted in trouble for it. So yeah, I'm going to leave it as that. But no, thank you very much for all you guys listening in as well. Yeah, we will see you at the same time next week at 11 o'clock. That's probably now doing this now going forward. It will be 11 o'clock going forward as well. But thank you very much for listening in. We'll see you at the same time next week at 11. But listen, all you have a good weekend for the gays as well. And yes, we'll, like I said, enjoy your safe travels and enjoy the rest of the summer as we can do, especially in this weather as well. Take it for now. Bye bye.